Jacob, home field has so much new stuff, especially for March and March Madness. They came in with new jerseys, like new retro jerseys, which are super, super cool. They always have the best stuff. I bought a home field shirt a couple years ago, and it still looks brand spanking new. And I got more home field stuff on the way. I absolutely cannot get enough of home field apparel.
If you're a NASCAR fan, actually, they have some throwback gear on their site too
Yeah.
right now. So tap in, home field. If you want to support the show, use code SQUARE at checkout. You get 15% off if you're a first-time orderer, or you get 10% off if this is if you're just a home field addict. That's code SQUARE at checkout. There's one company, Andy, that we trust to put our own merch out there into the world and who we firmly believe is coming on top this football season. That's elitesports.com. They support athletes directly. They make custom stuff for us and for them. So how could we not be on board?
We got friends who have bought the crew necks. I always wear my Elite Sports Squaring Around hat. Got to support the brand. Use code SQUARE at checkout for a 10% discount. Not too shabby. EliteSports.com. They support the athletes and they support us. So go support them.
Thanks for squaring. Goodbyes are always hard, Zimmel.
Are they? You say a lot of goodbyes.
I do. I've said a lot of goodbyes, I guess, in the past year, for good and bad reasons. Well, I think what gets to me is that you never really know, like, when the last time you're gonna like see somebody is. Have you ever thought about that?
He's moving, not dying. What are you talking about?
I know. I'm talking about Chris Kutz, our great SID, of course. But I know he's not dying, and I know
you're talking about like old Yeller.
Yeah, well, we finally have like tied a bow on this though. Like we gave him like the farewell that like we thought he deserved. And then I guess it's like closure for us too. We got to talk to him on air, off air, just like kind of kick it around one last time. You don't get to do that with everybody in your life,
Yeah, I wish I could kick it around with my grandparents.
Gee, thanks. Yeah. But
like, what are you talking about? Like, again,
no, I get you.
He's taking a different job. He's not dying. If we want to talk to him, we probably could call him on a Tuesday and be like, "Hey, Chris, what's happening? Hey, I saw the Bronco game." I do get where you're coming from, though. I understand. It is sad.
I'm just a little sentimental. I'm overly sentimental sometimes.
I guess. Yeah, it's that time of the month for you, buddy.
Yeah, you're right. Honestly. Did I ever tell you in Corpus, I was working down there, is very different emotionally for me. And every once in a while, I would get these like odd pregnancy cravings. I would want spicy pickles, dark chocolate, and then something.
Do you get cramps too?
Oh, hot chips. So I was just like very Valley girl. And we just had a conversation with Chris about the real Valley being McAllen, Texas, in the Rio Grande region.
I don't think that's what that conversation was.
Yeah, I know, but he's not here to defend it, so I'll talk about it. Revisionist history at the top of this podcast.
Yeah, it's like,
this week on Squaring Around,
the Rio Grande Valley is the best valley. It's like, all right, yeah.
This week on Squaring Around, we're saying goodbye to our friend Chris Kutz, the best SID Texas State has ever had. Whoever's following in his place. Oh, we didn't even ask this question. When the hell are we going to get a new one?
Well, it's got to be before July.
Yeah,
I imagine
I texted him that though, so.
I imagine that they're probably going to get one here pretty soon. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Texas State's a good job. They'll be fine.
Chris kind of hinted at this, but the wheels have been in motion for a while. You don't want to surprise a program like on the rise with this stuff. So, and Chris is a consummate professional, so I know this has been kind of in the works for some time, probably.
Can you define that word?
Consummate?
Mm-hmm.
Like, always, like basically, like, what is it? Hang on. Let me look this up, and then I can tell you. Through the power of the internet.
Because I've used that word before, but nobody's ever put me on the spot to like define it. And I thought it'd make good radio for you to be like, define this word.
To be consummate is to be complete in every detail, perfect, extremely skilled, accomplished, and of the highest degree.
Now, isn't that what professionalism kind of means?
Yeah. But
so wouldn't it be redundant?
Well, because you could be professional, but you can't be a consummate professional. Like there's professionals, and then there's people who do it at the next level. That's what that means.
And that's what Chris is.
That's what Chris is. Exactly.
Here's the interview.
Tired of winning the tailgate, but losing the games? We can't help that. But we can tell you what the hell is up with each team and what's going on across sunny San Marcos. Texas State fans, get on your feet. You're listening to Squarin' Around with Jacob Rodriguez and Andrew Zimmel.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Squarin' Around. I'm Jacob Rodriguez. That's my incredible best friend, Andrew Zimmel. We're here to talk about everything Texas State. But this week, we're kind of sad on this show because we're saying goodbye to our good friend, Chris Kutz. He's not dying, at least literally.
Yeah, he's kind of is.
At least literally. Metaphorically. I mean, this guy just got a great promotion and opportunity in Boise. So that'll be fun. Chris Kutz, welcome to the show, buddy.
This is an honor. After a long time listener, first time caller in, this is an honor.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have to tell us how much better Boise is in San Marcos, and then we can laugh at you. I'm excited for this.
Is that all I got to do is just spell out all the bullets of why Boise, Idaho ranks above San Marcos, Texas? You know, they both have a river runs through it. Obviously have both. They're both football communities, as you guys are well aware of. And so it's a close battle.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Idaho, they tell me Boise's like the new San Francisco, of Idaho. So I'm excited to see what that's like for you.
The tech hub of Idaho, I've heard.
The tech hub of Idaho. Yeah.
People don't know this really, but I think it was December of 2023 when we were first starting this podcast. I cold emailed Chris and I shot him basically my entire life story. And I was like, this is our plan for the podcast. What do you think? And he was all on board. So he's been the secret engine that's been keeping us chugging along, making sure we get player and coach interviews. So we're super appreciative, Chris, not only for what you do for the team specifically, but also just as a person and friend. You've been great to work with. So we appreciate it.
Selfishly for us, you've helped us out a lot.
For us.
Well, I mean, so this is like a whole conversation topic, right? But what you guys do in terms of media in this day and age, it's important to Texas State as well, right? As much as you say that's selfish to you all, having an opportunity for our athletes and coaches to be heard by our fans, whether it's someone else's platform, your platform, whatever it may be, the more of those, the better, right? That only helps everyone involved. So you may think it was selfish, but to me, it was like rising tide lifts all ships. Let's go.
And we agree with the football team winning a bowl game. We said rising tides raise all ships, baby.
I was like, let's bet on these ponies and maybe it'll pay off. And it did.
It did.
And then we got the DCTF deal, and that helped everybody too.
I mean, it's hard, right? You just don't know when to start. Sometimes it's as simple as emailing someone and saying, hey, this is the concept, and we want to talk to some of the people in your program or your programs. And yeah, timing looks all great when you look back at it for sure.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you're going to remember from Texas State, Chris?
I mean, I thought about this a little bit over the last few days. I think the obvious one is just the big moments, right? I mean, the first one that comes to mind for most people, and for me especially, was the Baylor game this past year, because that was so real quick tangent here. Every time you hire a new coach, especially in college football, I've been a part of a couple now. It's all about generating momentum in the offseason. And the reason why I always like that is I could tell people, well, that's when you're undefeated. You haven't lost a game yet, right? You got 9 months to build on momentum around the excitement and change and new players, new coaches, whatever it may be, returning players who are buying into the program. And so that was a culmination of all of that, right? We went from undefeated to 1-0 in the most statement way possible, right? Whether it was the line for the game or the fact that we had 50 new scholarship players, 53 new scholarship players, whatever it may be, that was a big moment that I remember. And then obviously the other big moments, sport to sport. I mean, I've been a part of 6 conference championships here at Texas State. So all of those are fun. The first one was men's basketball. That was on the back-to-back end. We had baseball that year, close to a super regional after playing really hard in Stanford. Women's basketball the following year in the spring. Softball was an amazing run. Women's golf obviously winning. Women's outdoor track obviously winning. So those big moments around the championships are easy to remember for sure.
Did you get a ring from football?
I did. It's actually right by me. I'm not going to show it off, but it's right by me right now. It wasn't timed that way. I just happened to receive it on my way out the door. It's not my last day today, but I was walking out and it was on my desk, and I was like, ooh, I better put that in my backpack before I forget it, because there's nothing in my office currently. So that would be kind of stood out. That was the one thing.
That's fire.
Yeah, that's how you get robbed for sure. For
Mhm.
sure.
I would have
That
forgot
ring
it.
would've walked
knowing
away.
If you see
Forgot-
if you see Chris's car in Houston right now, you know what to do.
Right. I'm driving a Ford F-150. That's what it is. I'm just kidding. That's just what's over there. That's not what I'm
That's
driving.
so funny.
He's driving a Lambo right now.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
just casually pull up in Houston that way.
Hey, well, that's what we are now, man. It's Lamborghinis and Mustangs, right? That's the whole deal. What is it?
Ferraris,
Ferraris
Porsches, and Ferraris.
yeah. So I mean, that wouldn't shock me at all if GJ rolled up to an event being like, "Hey, man, this is how we roll now at Texas State." Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, I mean, he's all about changing it. I mean, the one thing about GJ, he always got it from the external side, right? Like when you're a college football coach, it can be a politician job. I mean, the best example everyone knows in Central Texas is Mac Brown. Like that guy runs a program from this is how you do it in the state of Texas. And obviously had a great run and success there. So GJ gets it from the external side. So yeah, if he pulled up on something fancy, it's all about like creating a conversation. I can see that. But he's not going to. He's gonna pull up his truck, he's gonna interact with fans and get back on the road and go coach tomorrow.
So, what are some like behind the scenes stories you can tell us about you and GJ's relationship?
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, right, like my role is all about the media relations. Well, part of it's the media relations side around the football program. We have people who handle those for the different sports, mine being football and the golfs right now this year. And so GJ and I interact constantly, whether it's you guys making requests or other media making requests or someone wanting to reach GJ, it's me facilitating that, coordinating that, however you want to say that. So we interact constantly. So I said it that way because obviously it can be good things, it can be bad things. It's whether sitting in his office, go over things that are coming up, or sit in his office. I love to relive with him his Tulsa days because it's just so funny to me that like he was very, very good, and you would never know based on his demeanor, especially publicly. I mean, he has a moxie to him, right? He's a confident player, confident quarterback, confident coach, but you just would never assume like this guy dominated at Tulsa, like he was player of the year. And so I always like to relive the days at Tulsa with them, whether they like it or not. Boise State today just announced that they're playing at Notre Dame next year. So one of the things that I remember him talking about is just him playing at Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is obviously just one of those big programs in my upbringing a little bit. So yeah, that was fun to hear him talk about that experience. I mean, he was just talking about Boise the other day of just how that field is something else. And so just those interactions, those are always fun, just to live back his playing days with him a little bit.
I'm kind of sad, Chris. I won't lie. When you made that announcement online, first of all, I was asleep. So I woke up to that and I was like, oh, rats, Chris. And then I texted you and we shared a moment. But then like online, just like seeing like ordinary fans like reaching out to say like how much of an impact you have had. I mean, it's clear for us because we work with you. But to have like ordinary people be like, man, this guy really made a huge difference, and we can tell too. That speaks volumes of like what you do, and like just like the character you have too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So this thing has been going down for a little bit naturally, and one of the things that I expressed to the people here was like, well, I told this to other people as well. Like, this is a hard decision just because of the people, right? Like, and I'm from if you don't know, I worked in Kansas State for a long time, and Bill Snyder is a legendary football coach. And he has a quote on the wall that, like, when he returned, it was he stayed in Manhattan, Kansas for the people. He had opportunities to go, but he stayed for the people. And I reflected a lot on what Coach Snyder said then and played it in my life, because here's like the people are really special. I think the people have been reignited, right? And so when people pour onto me when that announcement came out, like it showed like, man, there's people that here that care, right? Like that's so awesome to see, whether I'm here or not, to be a part of their journey or their next journey here, next chapter at Texas State. Doesn't matter. Like they are here to care. And you just can't take that for granted anywhere you go. That's something I look for. Anything, whether it's personal, professional, like just care, just be a great person, treat people well, and definitely saw that in my time here at Texas State. Like I said, I think there was just years of waiting, like year of buildup, year of pent up, kind of waiting to get that out, and this year has been a great year for that to show itself.
Well, two parts. Part one is Jacob and I have a post Chris Kutz, and now we're pre, and now we're gonna have a post. The pre was shitty. The pre was awful when it came to media relations. So to have somebody that was like actively like trying to help us was great. And then I want to add on to the people part, because I talked to Coach Woodard earlier this season about like kind of her career and where she was at with stuff. And she said the same thing. It was like, hey, famously, you were out there with the tarp, and it was like, it was a no-brainer. Everybody just pitches in, everybody just does what they need to do. I'm disappointed that you didn't say that was one of your memories from being at Texas State, but you know what? We'll always have the photo of you out there.
I've pulled tarp many times in my life. That wasn't the first time, right? Like that's just a mentality. I mean, I wasn't the only one, by all means. There's a lot out there helping. So yeah, it wasn't a memory because I've just done it. It was like a natural thing. Like we looked at each other, everyone up there, like, let's go, let's do it, get it done.
So can I get my all seasons pass now? Could like, is that like your last, like, you know, the president like writes like a pardon, like as he's like leaving, can I get like the all access pass like now, like right before you're out the door? Like, how does that work?
Well, you haven't been a member of our media program apparently very long, but we send that email in July, and then you get that
That's what I'm
afterwards.
saying. You could do it now, right? Like just preemptively, like stamp the book.
No, there's a process. This is not a people person. This is a process problem. Yeah, hey, tomorrow's my last day, Zimmel. Like, don't make me work on my last day.
Hey, man, look. I grew up with the math teacher that was like, hey, school's still in session till it's not. We're going to learn these times tables. Lock in.
Zimmel's probably like the laziest media member too, because he has me do all his things. So, because I'm going to do mine anyway. So I just usually include him on the list. Yeah.
That's hard to be the laziest
The
media
sad
member
part
at
is
Texas State.
this might not go in there. Zimmel, like this is your first time back in Texas for a season. Like I missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah, you're going to miss out on a lot, Chris. I can tell you that right now. It's going to be a lot of just hopefully cheering in the press box, but you know, because there's a bunch of years where it was me biting my knuckles, just screaming into the abyss after the game.
Oh, I did.
If you know me, there is one.
I did see Chris.
One rule I have. Yeah, this is where the old man in me comes out, right? But there's one rule I have: do not cheer in the press box. Like total place of business. Get that riffraff out of there. I don't kick people out, but I usually talk to them. Hey, let's just not do that. But if you did it, Zimmel, that all seasons pass, revoked.
Burning it.
Did Jacob ever tell you the story of him getting kicked out of UTSA?
Yeah, I got kicked out of the Alamo Dome. This was my first year ever covering stuff. Like basically the reason the Star covers games today is because I had us go to games, and so I invented sports coverage at the University Star. And so I go to the Alamo Dome with, I guess, the assistant editor at the time, Anthony. And so we're in there, we're hanging out, and everybody's losing their mind, like for UTSA's side. And so I was like, oh, fun, whatever, you know. Texas State starts coming back. You know, this is Tyler Vitt's freshman year. And they had this crazy play where he gets tackled at like the 2-yard line, or it was like a design QB scramble. I don't know what the hell we were doing on the field, but it was exciting. And so I let out a little, it wasn't even much, I'll be honest. But I got into a screaming match with the SID. And I think I told him, I was like, I've been kicked out of nicer places than this. And so when I go to the Alamo Dome now, it's a fond reminder. Or when I pass it downtown, like I work here.
Is your picture on the wall? Like, don't let them in?
It should be, honestly. But I got it. I let in this year, no problems. I was on my best behavior though, and I was very professional, very courteous to everybody involved, because I knew I was on a thin line already. But that was my first mistake as a sports journalist, I think. And that was circa 2018, 2017, maybe? Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah. So I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Most young people don't. They're usually the ones who are infracting parties there. But you're just being courteous to the person next to you. They may not want to cheer. Now, naturally in college football, you get a little bit of everything. So it sometimes kind of muddies the water a little bit.
Well, now if you look at everybody's screens too, like we're all betting on games. Like I think a lot of college football writers are betting on games now.
Who's we?
Oh, you're not. I think you are, buddy.
I'm
pleased. I hope we're not.
Scout's honor.
You set your stuff before you leave the house, and you just have stuff going on the whole time. I know you. I'm more of a before kickoff time. Yeah, usually Texas State is not on any of those lines either. So I'll say I don't have insider information that I'm betting on too. At Prize Picks.
Yeah, where's my Jordan McLeod over-unders? That's Prize Picks. Get on that. Where's my Joey Hobart? Come on.
Oh, wait. Hang on, Chris. I got a real question.
You want to say?
I got a real sports information question to ask you. So me and Zimmel have seen Jordan McLeod in person before. He came out with the picture this week next to a little child that had seen him, and he was like, "Hey, can't wait to whatever." I was like, "Is this guy 6 feet tall? Can you verify? Is he 6 feet tall?"
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's 6 feet tall.
Jury's put to
Are you
bed.
saying the kid looked tall?
No, the kid did not look 6 feet tall. But I'm not a tall person either, so I wouldn't know what 6 feet is either.
But I think the difference is that like when I stand next to Jacob, I'm 6'1". I stand next to Jacob, people are like 6'4". This kid stood next to Jordan, and we were 6'4". The kid stood next to Jordan, and we're like 5'10". Like
now, it's different when me and TJ Finley got together, and it was like, okay, that is clearly 5'7" and 6'7".
Yeah, right. It's all about angles too. I mean, you don't rely on the photos to measure height. What are we doing? You guys amateurs here?
Yeah. I need to see flat foot, no shoes, and I need to see the tape measure out because I'm firmly in the 5'11" 3/4 camp.
We need him like in the bottom of a pool where it says 6 feet as the depth, and then we can measure for sure.
Scientific over here.
I think Chris froze a little bit.
I think he's just really laughing at the joke.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
I hope.
Yeah, you're good. So if
somebody thought you were just like laughing very hard,
I was like, joke Chris really enjoys that joke. He's having a good time.
I was like, no, buddy, we lost him.
Yeah,
it's like one of those. It's like those TikTok things where you just like pretend to be frozen. That's funny. Yep, connection error.
Yeah, sorry. I think I'm good now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, so you're trying to say Jordan McLeod is not 6 foot, but you're also saying you want to see him flat foot, no shoes. Like, okay, you guys should. This actually brings up a great point. So this is the one idea that's going to die with me. Hopefully, it does happen. And we talked about this at spring game. You guys remember this? A media combine. Like how legit would it be? And I'm gonna do this other places. So sorry, you guys don't want to be part of it.
Until I come back.
You don't know.
To Boise State.
You don't know that. You don't know that. The Andrew Zimmel caravan could totally end up in Boise.
This could be Boise and around very easily, Chris.
The media combine, right? Like I got this idea a number of years ago. We used to do a lot of like when I was at the Fresno Grizzlies back in the day with my baseball team. We would do a softball tournament with the media. So we'd play like home run derby, do a whole softball day during the All-Star break because no one's around. And so I was like, I've been sitting on this idea, and I was like, this is the year where I have you guys do a full combine, right? Like run 40s, do 225 on the bar, vertical jump, maybe 225, 135, maybe 135. But imagine the 40s. Like how molasses in January would you guys be?
Hold on. Run that back. Jacob is training right now. Jacob would start training immediately for this.
Yeah. No,
okay.
I'm already in good shape.
All right.
Yeah. Colton has been trying to race me for the longest time too, because I think I had a standing offer for any member of the Texas State Media Corps, the few and the proud, to take me on in a 100-meter dash. And so far, nobody has collected. So
yeah. So Jacob is essentially waiting for Colton to get liver poisoning before he runs him.
Yeah.
So it's Jacob's just.
I'm waiting out for the time on that one.
Turtle in the hair.
I think it'd be electric to watch you guys sit there and do all those, the shuttle or the cone drill.
Oh, I would love it.
Tear a hammy or something.
Well, we properly warm up. We don't want to harm anyone.
Zach, Jacob, me, Kef, Colton. That's 5.
You're not going to include Mike Craven on there and Ish?
No, yeah. Mike Craven would come. That would be his luck. The one day he comes to talk to GJ, it's like, get ready to put on those Spanx. We're doing the combine, buddy.
Yeah, Craven, you can talk to GJ. Just put up 135 as many times as you can before.
That's the bar of entry.
That's a good way to gatekeep interviews too. Like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah. So actually, if you don't run a 40 at a certain amount of time, you only talk to certain people. And if you're below that time, you don't get to talk to anyone at all.
Sorry.
Rules are rules.
You get you got to run with the 2s this year, Craven.
Yep. Media relations. Well, that's how we do it.
Yep.
4, 5 and below. Sorry, buddy. You're not talking to Jordan. Hate to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can't put a dollar bill underneath your vertical jump, then you're not talking to anyone.
That's crazy. $1 bill. Who can't get off the ground like that? But I did see a TikTok today of this lady who was like trying to do that like jumping thing without bending your knees. And that's a very hard thing to do. But, she did not get off the ground at all, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, good luck in Boise, man. That's going to be fun. And, I'm really rooting for the Broncos out there, mostly because I want a G5 Super Bowl. Like the odds of Texas State and Boise State making the college football playoffs, kind of a long shot. I feel like they're going to screw us in a lot of different ways. But the odds of them putting the two best group of 5 teams in a bowl game together, much more likely. And I think that could totally happen. And that'd be a lot of fun to have you come back and have the media that follows Boise State come back and have them all ripped because they've been training for this combine that Chris Kutz is putting them through.
Yeah, well, it's a combine. It's not a training program.
Chris Kutz,
well, he does you do CrossFit, so maybe they're like, damn, Chris is like out here doing CrossFit. I need to get like close to the SID to get the interviews, and all of a sudden everybody just looks like they could be in GI Joe. I don't know.
I'll never forget last Memorial Day, Chris, when you guys did the Murph at Texas State and you just jacked out of control. I was like, all right, our SID versus y'all's in a fight. Let's go.
Yeah, I should be taking pictures of my shirt off and posting on the internet. I didn't post it, but yeah, shout out to Deca Fitness, CrossFit Gym in San Marcos. That's where I do my workout. Paige Love got me hooked up there, and I do a great job.
That's awesome. Have you been doing that for a long time?
No free ads. So I work out constantly. I started running out of college, long distance running. So I've done marathons, half marathons. CrossFit I've kind of just done for the last year, and then I've done it before that. Yeah.
Can you tell a difference
in my fitness?
Yeah.
100%. So like CrossFit, people think about it, it's like, whatever. There's a stereotype around CrossFit. I just view it purely as like cardio and next level cardio, right? Like I can do that as a cross training with, marathon training, half marathon training, and I'd be so prepared for anything. Yeah, it's a next level cardio is the way I look at it. There's some strength, don't get me wrong.
My middle school football coach, Luis Vela, no free ads, but he owns a CrossFit gym now in the Valley. And I am terrified to go work out with him. Every time I see him at church, he's like, hey, man, come through. No, thank you, sir. He's a very, I think he read like Robert Downey Jr.'s like memoir or something. And Robert Downey Jr. talks about like hugging the cactus, like doing something is like uncomfortable and stuff. So he'll post pictures of grown men like on their asses after a workout, just like completely gassed out, like with their arms like that. And then he'll Photoshop cactuses, keep hugging the cactus. I think it's
I mean, another thing I love about it is just in general, right? Like I've done a lot of things in my life that have challenged me physically and pushing you beyond your limits. That's what it does every day. Get you pushed beyond your limits, and you just feel like anything's attainable if you really put your mind to it.
Is that like you do one thing hard a day and then like the rest of your day is a little easier kind of deal, or what?
Yeah, I will say I work out in the evenings here. That's a very different lifestyle. Usually I work out in the mornings for that reason, right? Like I'm very much like push in the morning, and then it's just downhill like mentally the rest of the day, right? Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I've never really like specifically stated it out that way, but that's probably exactly how I view it if you boil it down.
So your one hard thing a day is CrossFit. Jacobs, what's your one hard thing a day?
That's why I do jujitsu, because somebody trying to kill me is a little probably easier than the rest of my day. It puts the media stuff into perspective too. Like this guy who does not watch the news at all, has no idea who the hell I am, and could care less about anything I write, just almost killed me for 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to go have a better day.
That alarm, 3 a.m. That's
Jim,
the
yours?
hardest. The 3 a.m. alarm is the hardest thing I do every fucking day. That thing, dude. You do a week of it, do a month of it. I'm on 5 months. It's a different life. I don't know. I'll never be the same. I'm losing, like, you know how like they say like a cigarette takes like 9 minutes off your life? Every morning I hit that like snooze button or that like alarm off button. It's essentially like smoking a pack. I can just see the back half of my life like slowly creeping up, dude. It's tough.
And then you blink and you're in your 40s. Actually, Chris, in college, Zimmel lost like, what was it, 50 or 60 pounds just by walking pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Wow.
Frank the Tank, he stole that idea from me.
Yeah.
To the point where like, I was asking him, like, I was like, what are you on right now, bro? Like you are like next level, but he was just walking everywhere all around San Marcos. I was like, do you need a ride? No, I'm good. Just kept walking.
I have a
Forrest
very
Gump ran,
active
I
dog who
walked.
keeps
What can
me.
I say?
Yeah, I have a very active dog who keeps me walking. So I relate to that. Yeah, for sure. Walking is a very simple thing for people to do.
What's up? Well, it's been great having you around, Chris. Since 2022, right? February 2022.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
it's a nice chunk of Texas State time. You'll always be a Bobcat to us, so we appreciate your time. Thanks again.
Yeah, I appreciate it all. Appreciate you guys supporting Texas State all the way through, interviews, getting to know each other. Like I genuinely appreciate the fellowship that we have. That's the best part about this whole gig is meeting people like you guys and then everyone else telling the stories that we got going on in our place.
I like it too because you never know where everybody else is going to be. You know, you could be huge bigwig at the NCAA in like 2-3 years or anywhere else, and then I don't know.
Who
Squaring
knows?
around,
You
squaring
guys
around
could be on
eclipses Joe
CBS
Rogan.
News. Maybe. You never know.
You never know. So yeah, man. Thanks. It's been great.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
I like you and me because you and I are very good at two different things. You know, you're good at being the jovial sports guy, get your takes off, get your rocks off quick kind of deal. And I'm good at like building relations with the professional end, you know? So if we ever get into some hot water, I'm the kind of guy that goes and smooths things over. If we ever need to defend ourselves online, that's where you come in.
You know what? If there's one thing I'm good at, it's being a keyboard warrior. I'm not a jujitsu guy like you or a CrossFit guy like Chris. I'm a walker.
If you physically come at us, that's when I come back in.
I don't know how I feel about Mighty Mouse over here, but that's fine.
Dude, Mighty Mouse, did you see he won the IBJJF absolutes? He took down this like 6'4" dude. Yeah. Armbarred him.
I sent you a DM earlier this week about underutilized cartoon characters. Didn't hear anything back from you.
Oh yeah, honestly, I've been kind of off Twitter a little bit.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm in this transitional period at work right now, and it's kind of thrown like the rest of my life in kind of flux. My contract's up in September, so I'm kind of looking around and doing different shit. When you're talking about underutilized Looney Tune characters, I'm coming to the table with Slowpoke Rodriguez. Yeah, it's Speedy Gonzalez's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
When my brother is dragging ass, she'll call one of us Slowpoke Rodriguez.
That's why I love your mom. She and I, same page. Beautiful comedy.
My mom had a
good buddy cop.
My mom had a couple quick takes. Whatever.
That's so. What do you
think? I'm gonna drop it.
Bigger conspiracy theory. Jordan McLeod not 6 feet tall.
I had to bring up the Jordan McLeod thing in that interview, and I'm glad I did. You know?
Yeah, because the thing is that like, don't hide your height from the world. You know, if you're a short king, let it be known. Now, 6 foot's not a short king. 6 foot can get you a lot of action on the square. 6 foot, though, as a quarterback, kind of small.
A lot of action on the square.
Well, yeah, right? Like, I mean, yeah, I think 6 feet.
What's crazy is that there's guys that are just like 6 feet tall who like, that's it. That's the key to the universe that they have is just being tall. And then you talk to them. And you're like, hey, what do you want to do with your life? And you're like, oh, I live in my parents' basement. Like, hey,
God, I wish my parents had a basement.
But you're 6 feet tall. You know, you're gonna hit your head on the basement door, buddy.
I will tell you, if my parents had a basement, I'd still be there. Cool.
Damp. Are you 6 feet tall?
Me?
Yeah.
Jacob.
Are you?
Jacob, come on.
Are you 6 feet tall? I'm asking.
I'm taller than 6 feet tall.
Are you?
Yes.
What's your official height and weight?
The official height on my driver's license is 6'1".
What the hell does mine say?
Yours is going to be a lie. It's going to be like 5'10".
Mine says 6'2".
But the last time I was out and about, somebody said
this is completely accurate on everybody's driver's license. 5'7". But that is true. That's correct.
Last time I was out and about, somebody said I was 6'4". I don't think I'm 6'4". I think my little brother is 6'4". I'm probably like 6'1", 6'2". But come on, you don't think I'm 6 foot? Jacob.
My perspective of the world and height is skewed because I'm 5 foot. I wouldn't know what 6 feet is. Like when they said that TJ Finley was 6'7" and I got to stand next to him for the first time, it was mind-boggling to me. So like, imagine if I'm at North Star Mall or something and then I see fucking Wembanyama, you know, like. That would blow my mind too.
We were just together this weekend watching baseball where I was with you and your teacher from the Valley. And I felt like I was like, a guy. I was like, damn, I'm taller than both these people.
Dude,
He's
if
looking
you
at the
go, you know, the only time I felt that way was when I went to Mexico City, and I
Oh, I
was
thought you were gonna say Japan.
well, that too. I was taller than most Japanese men and bigger, bro. You know what I'm talking about? That was also like 20 pounds ago, but
Funny. They're having a pregnancy problem over there.
pregnancy problem.
The birth rate is too low. They're losing more people than they're gaining. So there's conversations about like bringing Westerners over there. Now, I don't know
Tokyo and
how that
around.
work for you.
Tokyo
but,
drifting around.
Hey man, I think again, you send Jordan McLeod over there, send me over there, 6 feet. I think we're doing pretty good.
I think I need to take off my shoes and interview Jordan McLeod in person, and then we can verify what's up.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out Chris Kutz. I know that was a very roundabout way to talk about that, but we talked about at the beginning how great this guy is, and we talked about it during the show, or during the interview part at least. But I'm super grateful to Chris because, as Zimmel hinted at mid-interview, we have not had a completely great experience with Texas State media stuff in the past. That's going back to our time at KTSW and the Star. We kind of rehabbed that while we were there. And then post-graduation, that's kind of like why me and Zimmel didn't do anything with Texas State for the longest time, is because like we weren't there. So we didn't have any control of the situation. And then Chris gets the job. We start hearing all these good things about him and how he's like great. From our friends that work there still, Craven, Ish, Colton, Kev, all these people talking up about Chris. So I just cold emailed him one day when I'm thinking about this podcast, come back from my trip to Mexico City, actually. And then we filmed the first episode of Squaring Around. And that's kind of how all this happened.
Also, should we know that Jacob went to Mexico City and got us Christmas presents? Would you like to guess what those Christmas presents were, folks? Penis whistles. And I still have mine. I don't know where it is, but I had my penis whistle on my bedstand for a while.
You want me to show off the penis whistle?
Yes, please do.
My tip is cracked, and that's not like a metaphor. That's like because I cracked one on the way over here, and I didn't want to give a broken one to one of my friends, so I took the cracked one. So
did Customs have any questions? That's my question.
No.
Like when you were coming through, when they did the X-ray on the bag, were they like, what the hell's up with this guy?
I did think I was going to have to this is the grand reveal coming, and hopefully you could hear me the whole time I was talking about this. But I did think for a second I was going to have to explain to a U.S. Customs and Immigration officer why I had 9 of these penis whistles in my carry-on. Because I'm a big just carry what you got kind of person, but what was funny is I think it was a Sunday when I drove up to Austin to give all my friends these, because we always have a big Christmas party, our boys. It was the next day. I totally forgot the gifts the day before, so I drove to Austin, went to the party, then drove back, and then drove to Austin again the next day just to give these guys the whistles. And there was 8 of my friends in the circle, and I took out the whistles, gave it to everybody. Immediately, everybody put them in their mouths and started playing. It was crazy. It was so funny.
DCTF has a new cover.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, let's get this started. Everybody was like, "Oh, Texas is gonna be on the cover." We didn't hear that from Craven. We didn't hear that from Ish, so it wasn't true.
So we knew it wasn't true.
We knew for sure it wasn't gonna happen. And then,
because we joked about it. We joked with Craven. And
we joked with the cover actually last week. We're like,
yeah,
hey, what about that cover?
I remember at the spring game at Herbert's, we were joking about it with Craven being like, Texas State's on the cover. And we changed the subject really quick. But it kind of makes sense because it's
it's going to be Quinn and Connor Wegman. And I guess I had no idea what the hell Connor Wegman looked like without his helmet, because I was like, who the fuck is this guy next to Quinn Ewers? Oh, it's Connor Wegman.
That's so funny. No, I knew that was I knew it was the A&M quarterback. And I knew they were going to be on the cover. Look, this is one of those things where that Jacob and I are not shills to our corporate overlords. I wasn't super thrilled with the cover. I like the cover. I don't love it. Does that make sense? I thought they could have done something a lot more unique in putting both those guys on the cover. But
yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's just standard, right? Side profile. So you get Quinn on the left side. If you're holding
Wegman on the right, yeah,
he's in your left, and then Connor's on the right, and then it just says a rivalry reborn. To me, that is kind of little cookie cutter-ish for sure. Was he going to win any design awards? Probably not.
No, but I look back and I look at the Sam, because my favorite cover that they've done in the last like 10 years is the Sam Ehlinger cover. I really like that cover. I liked the what was the SMU quarterback's name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember it.
I have a physical copy of when at work. This copy has been in the fucking the Ken's 5 newsroom since like when was GJ at Tulsa? Like early 2000s or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's a copy of when he was on the cover, and it's on my desk now. So
oh wow, that's kind of cool.
Everybody just knows I'm obsessed with Texas State, so they give me shit and then give me things that correspond to my mental illness.
Yeah, nobody does that for me. So
no.
Kind of wild.
Before we break and before we finish talking up about Chris Kutz and all the good he's done for Texas State and all the good he will do for Boise State, I had a few comments to address from the Quattro Corners cartel. This is from last week when we did a little mailbag with Carter. I've been doing that lately.
So we get a mailbag.
Hold on, more little mini mailbags with actual guests for the pod. Let me know, because I think that's a fun little concept. Run
that back. What? We do a mailbag. Don't get a lot of mailbags. We do a mailbag episode. We get a lot of surprise ones. So we're reading the comments. Okay.
One time we literally were like, we're going to do a mailbag this week. And we did it for 2 weeks. We pushed out get us comments. Nobody said shit. We had to completely change the game. This was last season, right? Now everybody's just fucking chirping our ears off, and we're like, okay, all right, we're doing mailbag.
Okay. Please continue.
Okay. So we were talking about like national, like when Texas State will gain like national perspective or like basically be like a program that like people on the national scale look at and go, hey.
Can I guess that my answer wasn't like people weren't thrilled by my answer? Can I guess that?
Nah, nobody cares. But somebody saw a ULM shirt in Plano, Texas at Walmart. Is ULM more nationally important than Texas State?
No, stop it. No.
That's crazy though, right?
No.
In Plano? What the fuck?
My mom wears a Texas State mom shirt to Minnesota and North Dakota. If somebody saw a picture of her and was like, hey, look, a Texas State fan, would that mean that they're more, known than? No. Come on. No.
Okay. And this next one, this one is from TXST Sports Fan. 3 days ago said, your podcast was a little loose with the facts, so I wanted to chime in. The 3 longest receptions last year were made by Joey, 83 yards, Cole, 77 yards, and Mahdi, who had one for 89 yards. Ashton had the 4th longest reception at 48 yards. We didn't lose our game breakers. Additionally, McLeod was absolutely known for his deep passing ability at JMU. He threw the 3rd most balls over 20-plus yards and had the highest completion percentage of those deep throws in the SBC. Lastly, this is not immobile. And then he has like a link to some highlights. Finley
wasn't talking about TJ Finley? Oh, come on.
Yeah. Finley wasn't a dual threat quarterback, but he had 5 rushing touchdowns, 2 big ones, 16 and 12 yards against Georgia State to clinch a bowl berth. 6'6", is tall, but little help when the goal line is 60 to 70 feet away. Remember, a quarterback takes a snap 5 to 7 yards deep in today's game. That's a lot to respond to.
All right, here's the deal. I can get behind. All right, you don't think Hawkins is a game? You don't think Hawkins is a game changer?
Neither did Zimmel for weeks 1 through 9. Zimmel.
Yeah, so I'm not going to disagree with you there. That's completely fair. ULM point. All right, I don't think ULM is more nationally known than Texas State. I don't think either one of them is very nationally known. Immobile. I'm not saying he's immobile, but if you say mobile quarterback and then you show me TJ Finley, I'm gonna be upset.
Let me click on this link. I hope
I'm gonna be upset. That's like if I said, "Hey, I'm bringing you pie," and I don't even know what type of pie I would bring you, that because all pie is good. That's a bad example. Here's the question: I say to Jacob, "Hey, I'm gonna bring you a bowl of ice cream." I bring him sherbet ice cream. Like, yeah, it's ice cream, and yeah, it's fine, but like, it's not what I wanted. It's not cookies and cream. It's not like Rocky Road. TJ Finley is the sherbet ice cream of mobile quarterbacks.
Wow, I got Rick rolled right now. I clicked on that link that he sent us about whatever being mobile or not mobile, and it was a freaking win now or get bent reel. Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
That will forever be sealed in the minds of the Bobcat faithful.
that tape is not the only one that exists.
That's so good. That was a good one.
Yeah, you got my ass on
Cut that. Put that in the pod right now.
I will.
Put that
Don't
clip
worry.
in the pod. That's great.
Do not worry. Shout out Win Now and Get Bent and Zach Webb because he shot all that shit at the Baylor game. And I remember talking to Zach what was left of Zach mentally after that game because he was shooting. It was so effing hot. For some reason, I decided to wear a suit to Baylor. Mistake. I was sweating my ass off.
You wanted to fit in with all those guys.
The media parking situation at Baylor is redacted, bro. It fucking sucks. This is McLean Stadium. This dick whistle. And to park is way the fuck over here, man. It was such a pain in the ass. So when I finally get over there, the team bus comes in. I shoot some videos, shoot a little stand-up for myself. Now it's like an hour and a half before kickoff. I'm sweating bullets. And I still have to get through press stuff, like get my bag checked out and like set up my laptop and stuff. I wasn't going to be on the field, so I was just going to write the whole game. And that was tough, man. That was crazy tough. No.
That's tough. Hate to see it.
Hate to see it. But I talked to Zach after the game. He was shooting the whole time. So, you know, I think he was in all black too. Black hat, black shirt, black shorts, or like joggers or something like that. So he was asking for trouble from the sun.
Yeah, that's from the jump.
He was just like dehydrated as shit. And I was like, oh my God, buddy, I hope you got some good stuff. And he did. So that video is just evident of the proof that they, you know, got some good shit out there. I don't like being rickrolled though, in my own fucking comment section. Also, last week, there was a lot of complaints in that last message. I just want to say. So thanks for watching, despite disagreeing with basically everything that we said. Last week, we talked with Carter about a lot of things. I brought up jiu-jitsu again. Zimmel brought up how Texas State needs an orgy to be nationally relevant. Carter brought up a lot of things that me and Zimmel liked, disliked, thought of differently. And then we compared it to Texas State's like outlook, and it was the same. So shout out Dave Campbell's for all those takes for Carter. So yeah, I don't know. There was a lot in there. I think we actually went into depth on like what we think like wide receiver, running backs and stuff we're going to do with Big Thad. So if you want to look at what the hell we actually think compared to the actual stats from last year, check out that episode. Were we a little fast and loose with the stats? Well, yeah. I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't even know. I don't remember talking about number stats though. Do you remember bringing up number stats?
No, because I said Hawkins is a game changer, and he is, and that's fine. Whatever. I don't. It's not.
No, I know, but I never
enough.
brought up like numerology or anything. Where I was like,
yeah,
oh,
no, it's
I
not.
think
It's
we're
not
gonna break
enough
longest
fight,
reception this year. I don't think I would never say that because that's the weird thing to talk about. Unless we're playing like Jackson State or something, it's like let's go for some record book stuff today, guys.
Yeah.
So
kind of problematic. You try and do that against the HBCU, but you know what?
Let's go to
that's on you.
Cut to Lamar game. You know that's not an HBCU. So are we going for the record book stuff then?
And we're trying to beat Lamar. I think a lot of people after last year's season have this idea in their head that Texas State's just like game breakers now. No, sir. It's week by week. Like it is very much still.
Yeah. Do you remember Coastal? Do you remember Arkansas State?
And I will say that like if you want to get way ahead of yourself and be like, yeah, we're gonna go 10-2, fine. But I am very much because I agree. I think 10-2 on the season is very doable. 9-3 is very doable. But if you think that I'm going to be looking at October and August or looking at January and August, you are sorely mistaken. No. We are locked in week by week, game by game, quarter by quarter, play by play. Like I'm not looking way ahead in the future. I'm locked in on week one. And GJ is, and Jordan McLeod is, and the whole team is, because they're not thinking to themselves, you know, hey, we're going to try to win the Sun Belt. They want to win the Sun Belt. It's on the bulletin board for sure, win the Sun Belt. They are not thinking to themselves, we're going to win the Sun Belt in week one. Not happening.
I get so upset anytime your ESPNU or my ESPN Plus, there you go, is like slightly ahead or behind, because you'll be freaking out about a play, and I'm like 2 plays behind or in front. And I'm like, oh, wait, what happened? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. That's happened like 3 or 4 times. It was still when you were in North Dakota. I guess we won't really have that problem, though, anymore. We'll be watching most of these live together. We already got one road trip planned, actually, for Sam.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Houston. It's going to be fun.
Houston.
NRG.
Do we have to go anywhere else?
You don't want to go to Mobile? Last game of the season?
Fuck no. The hell's in there for Mobile?
West title on the line.
I'm hoping Texas State has got this shit wrapped up in a bow by the time we get to that part of the season.
No, I want it to come down to that game.
Yeah.
South give me a bowl game. Give me 2 playoff games.
I don't know why. For the longest time, I thought South Alabama sucked at football, and they were very good. Been very good for a while.
Yeah, they had a couple down years, but yeah.
But like when we were in college, I was like, who cares? We'll go South Alabama.
Ooh, yeah, that's a bad take.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
South Alabama, Troy, ULL, all teams that were playing for Sun Belt titles when we were in college. In the East, it was Coastal in the back half, but App State absolutely ran that conference. So, yeah, it was tough.
Oh, if you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, subscribe to that thing. It make me feel better about the use of my time. I am not going to send it out, I think, until we have 10 subscribers, not including myself. So we need 11, actually, subscribers. So that link is on our Twitter or X at SquarinPod. You click that link tree and you can go to all of our stuff that helps us keep and support the show going. That'll have like the exclusive stuff, maybe like a look ahead for next week and some ramblings from me and Zimmel respectively. Yeah. Thanks for squaring around. Shout out Chris Kutz again, man, for all your work, for all your help with the Quattro Corners cartel and us wrangling this beast that this thing has become. Yeah, more things to come, actually. There's some stuff that's working in the back end y'all don't even know about, man. Was about to, I think, what is it? June and July is like when we really start college football prep work. We haven't even talked about the signees that GJ Kinney has had. We kind of hinted at it with Carter, and then me and Zimmel really just have not looked at these guys at all. So before we talk about some random bullshit online and for one of you to get really mad and like write like 250-word manifesto in our comment section,
come on,
we'll do our homework a little bit better this time. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Thanks for squaring.
We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Thanks for listening. New episodes out every Thursday. Follow the boys on Twitter. Eat 'em up. Eat 'em up.